The three types of equations that we're dealing with today are ERA, batting average, and then slugging percentage. ERA typically deals with pitchers, and it is the earned runs average. Batting average and slugging percentage both deal with the batter. Slugging percentage is a popular way to measure the power of a hitter. And we picked Zach Greinke and Yasiel Puig as our players because they're on the LA Dodgers and they had really good seasons. For the ERA, we picked Zach Greinke. And to find the ERA, what you do is you take the number of earned runs divided by the number of innings pitched, and then you multiply that by 9, and you use that to get your ERA. So in this case, Zach gave up 54 runs and pitched 207 innings. And then you multiply by 9, and then he had a ERA of 2.35. For the batter, we picked Yasiel Puig. And for his batting average, what you do is you take the number of hits divided by the number of official at-bats. So in this case, Puig, he had 195 hits, and then you divide that by his 627 at-bats, and that equals a batting average of 0.311. Slugging average is a little bit harder to find. What you do is you take the amount of singles that the player had, and then you add that to the amount of doubles that the player had, and then you multiply that by 2, then add that to the amount of triples, multiply that by 3, and then you add that to the amount of home runs, and multiply that by 4, and then divide it by the total number of at-bats. So in this case, Puig had 36 singles, then you add it to his 37 doubles, and then you multiply that by 2, plus 9 triples, multiply that by 3, plus his 16 home runs, and you multiply that by 4, and then you divide it by his total amount of bats, which was 627, which equals a .320 slugging average. Sports info directors, they usually document and publicize the accomplishments of athletes and teams for a school or any clubs. And then they are supposed to issue press releases to the media and compile information into media groups. And the education that's required is usually a bachelor's degree, and with majors in journalism, communication, marketing, public relations, or related fields. They also need to take statistics. And some skills needed would be a good personality, good communication, usually good with words, and somewhat smart to be able to carry a conversation. Sport information directors use technology through logging stats for each player, and they have to find formulas that calculate their average, and they store new data, and then they have to research possible new recruits that could better help the team. And that's where they would use the stats and the formulas to help recruit or scout new players. The areas that a sports information director are good at would be in statistics, basic multiplication, formula programming, and then able to use a calculator in Excel, and then they also need to be good at marketing. What impressed me from the press release would be how many jobs the information director has to perform in order to be a good information director. He would have to find the stats, the formulas, and then you would have to use those to spit out numbers that are crucial for teams, because teams are looking to get better and they use these stats to look up at upcoming players to see if they should be drafted. Usually the batting average predictions are accurate, but the ERA is too small to accurately predict the annual, as pitchers do not play all the games because there's multiple pitchers and they rotate, so it's just not enough information to accurately predict the season ERA average. Sport information directors use math in their job by finding averages and to calculate the standings of one team from another. They use it to take the stats of one player and compare it to another player. They use a lot of math in their jobs.